Today, let's look at our third topic. And as I mentioned yesterday, our third topic is installation materials and accessories. And we'll start with definition of terms. And our first term today is accessory. So an accessory is an electrical apparatus, fittings or materials associated with the electrical wiring, forming an integral part of it, but does not consume electricity. So accessories may include sockets, that is socket outlets, switches, circuit breakers, consumer unit, all those apparatus or fittings used in installation of electricity are called accessories. And there's wires and cable. So today I'd like you to get the difference between a wire and a cable. So the two terms cable and wire are used more or less synonymously in house wiring. So let me start by defining the term a wire. So a wire is any conductor which is composed of conducting material and is uniform in diameter and circular in cross section, while a cable is a length of a single insulated conductor, solid or stranded, or two or more conductors provided by its own insulation and are laid together. A simple definition of a cable can be any conductor provided with an insulation. Okay, let's define the term conductor. So conductor is any material that allows free passage of electric current along it. And lastly, insulator. So an insulator can be defined as any material that does not allow the free passage of electric current along it. Let's look at the properties of a good conductor. So a good conductor should be of low cost, should be easily available in the market, should have sufficient tensile strength. It should be easily made. Its joint should be easily made and soldered. It should have sufficient mechanical strength. It should not be affected by changing atmospheric conditions. It should have high conductivity and low specific resistance to keep electric losses as low as possible. And lastly, it should have flexibility. Classes of conductors. So conductors are classified into two groups, and that is one, bare conductors, and two, insulated conductors. So bare conductors are conductors which are not covered with an insulation. They are used in overhead lines for transmission and distribution of electricity, while insulated conductors are conductors which are covered with an insulation. They are used for indoor wiring and underground distribution systems. And the common conductors used in electrical wiring is one, copper and aluminum. Let's look at copper. So copper, it's mostly used for all commercial purposes. Its conductivity is a little higher than silver. Its conductivity is approximately 90%. It has the properties of good conductors and can be exposed to any weather. It's generally used in electrical industries and in overhead lines, cables, armature winding, earthing electrodes, contact points of starters, bus bars, etc. Types of copper conductors. We have hard drawn copper and annealed copper. So hard drawn copper, this type is used in earthing and overhead lines. It varies from 7/0 to 1 to 20 SWG, that is standard wear gauge. Let's look at annealed copper conductor. So the hard drawn copper conductor is made soft by heating at a high temperature, then cooling slowly. The annealed copper conductor also depends on the purity of copper. Annealed copper conductors are manufactured from 1 to 5 SWG. and 0 to 50 SWG. It's used as wiring in electrical apparatus, machines and transformers. Strips and bars of insulated coppers are used for winding heavy-duty machines and transformers for purposes of earthing. Let's look at aluminum conductor. So it has 60% electrical conductivity as compared to that of copper, and it's light in weight. It's affected by surrounding atmosphere. Its soldering is somehow difficult. It can also be made into wires, but are not as strong as copper wires. To make it strong, a steel wire is used in the center of the stranded aluminum conductors. The conductor is then known as aluminum cord steel reinforced conductors, that is ACSR. These conductors are used in overhead lines, cables, etc., where its lightness is an advantage in reducing the cost of transmission. Nowadays, aluminum conductors are used in winding chokes of fluorescent lamps and in the motor cage winding of squirrel cage induction motors. It's specially preferred to copper for transmission lines. It's available in sizes of 1.5 to 2.5, 1.5 to 6.25 millimeter. And this takes us now to parts of cable. And cable has got three parts. We have the conductor, we have the insulation, and we have the protective covering, also known as sheath. Let's look at insulating materials. So the conductor is covered by insulating material so that it may prevent leakage of current from the conductor. So the insulated material should be extremely high resistive to the flow of electric current through it. The insulating material used in electrical cables must possess the following qualities. 1. It should be of high resistivity, should be high flexibility, high dielectric strength, non-inflammability, non-hygroscopic, highly resistive to moisture, acids or alkalis, capability to withstand high rupturing voltages and high temperature without deterioration. You need to note that no one insulation material possesses all the above mentioned properties. Okay, so the type of insulated material used in a cable depends upon the service for which the cable is required. So let's look at types of insulating materials. So we have rubber,